So we'll start with a Shanti mantra. Keep your eyes closed. Sit with your back straight, yet shoulders, neck region relaxed. I'm going to chant the Shanti mantra. Just listen. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently brush your palms on each other. Try to make them warm enough. Place them on your eyes to feel the warmth. Give gentle massage all over your face. And with few blinks, slowly open your eyes. So we have started with this Bhagavad Gita chanting sessions around 1 year back. And before that, we looked into Vedic chanting. And then we started with selected verses from Bhagavad Gita. So we given around 3 months for each of those types of yoga. So initially we started with Karma Yoga Shloka Sangraha. So what we seen in while learning Karma Yoga Shlokas, the importance of doing karma, that not a single second, what Bhagwan Krishna is saying, we can remain without doing action. But we need to change the perspective or outlook behind doing behind the action. So while doing every action, we just need to tell ourselves again and again that I am not the doer. Somebody else, that higher power, that divine power is acting through me and I am just the instrument. If you will have this attitude every time behind every action, then whatever the fruits of action, whatever the karma phalas, are not going to apply to yourself. You will be free from all actions in spite of doing all the actions. And that's how you're going to become free. So this is the secret of karma yoga. By doing actions with such attitude, what is the progress? What is the result? Is the antakarana shuddhi, the mind purification happens. Then we looked into Bhakti Yoga Shlokas. It is about culturing your emotions, your feelings, your thought process, your mindset, your framework of mind. And as we are in developing that devotion, bhakti towards God, all the techniques like chanting, doing japa, singing bhajans, or even chanting shlokas and stotras, what will happen? It will culture our emotions. They will replace all the negative emotions with the positive ones. That is the first step. And then the next step is to maintain those positive emotions throughout, to have that devotion towards the higher power all the time. You're remembering God all the time. So this is how you're going to work upon your own emotions. So it's your choice at what frequency you want to vibrate. If you're going through stress, anxiety, or if you're thinking negatively, you start vibrating at lower frequency. All the functioning of your body and mind get disturbed. and eventually after few months or years, there is certain uh, disease either with the body or mind. So in order to avoid all these things, uh, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, all these are going to help us. It is not only to read in the book and forget after the session or the lecture or your reading session, but it is the application of these principles in our day-to-day life. Then we looked into Raja Yoga shlokas. We saw the importance. Once you purify your mind, you culture your emotions, your feelings, then it is time to work on your body, breath, and mind. So we saw the importance of sitting at one place, keeping your posture steady, your backbone straight, developing strength in your physical body in order to just sit for meditation. If you want to meditate, first of all, your body has to be strong. Then you need to work on your breath. So through pranayama, you're going to channelize the energy within the body. And that's going to reflect in your mind, and that will help to even make your mind one pointed. So from 1,000 thoughts, you're just try to remove all those unnecessary thoughts, and you have to lessen and lessen the lessen number of breaths as well as number of thoughts, so that lot of energy is preserved, is stored, and that can be used for the spiritual progress. So from um, multiple things, now we have trained our mind to fix on one single object. It can be anything. You choose the object of meditation. It can be a favorite deity or any symbol or any mantra, whatever it is. But condition your mind just to think of that one object and continue it for long period of time. As we go into any asana or yoga posture, why we need to hold that posture for some time? Why not just go into the posture and come back? The importance is how long you can stay in the asana. Similarly, how long you can keep your mind focused, concentrated on one single object. So that is how through Raja Yoga, we are training our body, breath, and mind. And then we looked into Jnana Yoga shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. So in order to develop this bhakti towards God, in order to purify our mind through the action, in order to culture our emotions through bhakti and devotion, in order to know the importance of focus and concentration, dharana and dhyan, you need to read scriptures. So here you need to understand what is that ultimate truth. Why I'm doing all this sadhana? What is that ultimate reality I need to understand? For that purpose, it becomes very, very important, essential to take up any scripture and read it. By knowing the greatness of that higher power, automatically you will develop the sense of devotion, respect, love. So through Jnana Yoga, we looked into what are the different states of reality when we are in dreaming state, in a waking state, in a deep sleep state, what happens to the consciousness. So all those things we were looking at for past 1 year. And now we are going to start with a new chapter, the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we are not going through all the shlokas. There are total 42 shlokas in the 10th chapter of Vibhuti Yoga. But we will be looking at selected verses from Vibhuti Yoga. So now I will um, share the screen. Hope you can see all the slides. So today we will be looking at what is Vibhuti Yoga and what it is purpose, why we need to know these Vibhuti forms. Then we will go through first 6 shlokas and then we'll do group practice of chanting these shlokas. So what is Vibhuti Yoga? What is the meaning of Vibhuti? It is the manifestation, the Vyakta form of God. And here the meaning of yoga is the ability, the power of manifestation. That higher power, you may call it God, Ishvara, Paramatma, higher reality, universal consciousness, anything. But that ultimate reality, that truth, Brahman, Paramatman, whatever you may call it, has the ability, has the power to become, to manifest, to give birth. So any Vibhuti Rupa form of the God is that which ordains the particular entity with some speciality. So that if you can see something special in some object, in some person, then no, it is the God's manifestation. It is the Vibhuti. This makes that particular entity greater than others. It is the ability of the Vibhuti Rupa of the God to make an entity greater and outstanding. For example, among various months, now here we are not talking about the English calendar, but the Vedic calendar. There are months like Jeshtha, Ashad, Shravan, Bhadrapad, now Margashirsha. So through all the months of the year, Shri Krishna is saying, the Masa Margashirsha, I am that Masa. Among the various months, Shri Krishna is Margashirsha month, which means there is a form of Lord called Margashirsha which presides the period of Margashirsha Masa, thus giving it some speciality over other months. See, the for Devatas, it is like one day for us, like 24 hours becomes one day for us. But for Devatas, it is the 1 year. That is, 1 year equals to 1 day for them. So Margashirsha comes in the middle, and that is the Brahma Muhurta for Devatas. So at the mid of the year, Margashirsha month falls, that is the Brahma Muhurta, and hence that Masa, that month is very special. So if you do spiritual sadhana or meditation, waking up at Brahma Muhurta or any time of the day in Margashirsha month, that becomes special sadhana because that is the manifestation, that is the Vibhuti of God. And here becomes that, the purpose itself, why we should know these Vibhutis of God. Now in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna himself say that they are infinite. My Vibhutis, my manifestations are infinite. If I will go on and on and on, it is never ending. And hence he tells Arjuna that I will tell you only few of them, the important one, the prominent ones. Now, there are innumerable, as I have said, empowered incarnations. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. Now, as we have seen, Vibhuti, it is not only Vibhuti, but it is yoga. It is the power of that energy which is directly controlled or indirectly controlled. Now, when it is directly empowered, they are called as incarnations, like Vamana Rupa. So there are like various avatars of Lord Vishnu. Matsya Avatara, Vamana Avatara. You can just go and tell many incarnations. But when they are indirectly empowered, where you cannot directly say this is the incarnation, this is the avatar of Lord Krishna, but that is indirect. Margashirsha month, for example, here that is called as Vibhuti. So there is again a slight difference between incarnation and Vibhuti. When it is indirectly empowered, it is Vibhuti. When it is directly empowered, it is called as incarnation. Okay. Any questions? Is that clear? Whatever we have looked into, what is Vibhuti Yoga? You can
Yes.
unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, what is the purpose? Why we should know these vibhutis? Now, if you are on a spiritual sadhana, if you are following the principles of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Vibhuti Yoga is also very, very important. It becomes part of Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. The purpose of that, these Vibhuti forms have to be meditated upon. So, if you study the 10th chapter of Vibhuti Yoga, then you will first of all come to know that, okay, these are the prominent vibhutis of God, of that higher reality, of Brahman. Then you can select one of the vibhutis and constantly remember it. Do not give yourself a chance to forget that whatever you are seeing, perceiving this world within and without, it is the manifestation of God. But in those infinite ones, I can meditate on whatever it is mentioned in Geeta. To understand that some devatas, sages, and qualities or attributes are created with greatness over others, and God is the cause of such distinguished greatness. So if you can have any special quality within you, recognize it is the God's manifestation through you. Meditate upon it. So that's how you will always connected with Ishvara or with Paramatma or that truth. We, whenever we study Geeta, it is again and again repeated. With every single breath, every minute, you should remember God. Shri Krishna himself tell Arjuna, those bhaktas, those ananya bhakti, those bhaktas who remember me all the time, they come to me. So Vibhuti forms becomes very essential. How you're going to remember God all the time. If you can see, if your favorite devata is Rama, Krishna, Hanumana, anything, meditate, remember that devata all the time, or any your revered rishi or your guru, because through guru even God is manifesting. Any great quality among your friend, among your family, among yourself, meditate on it and know it is the God's manifestation. It is the God's vibhuti. It is the rarest knowledge that is given by God himself, and one who gains this knowledge will be free from samsara. Not everyone is fortunate to have this knowledge. It is given to Arjuna by his friend, his philosopher, his guide, by Shri Krishna. Why? Because Shri Krishna knows that Arjuna is a sincere, honest, devoted seeker. If you are a seeker, if you want to know God, then God will help you by giving this rarest knowledge. And then what is the result? Why you have to know it? Become free from the cycle of birth and death. You then don't have to born again. It is only that reality's wish, if that things that yes, you have to take birth, but for a certain purpose, for fulfilling certain, you know, a greater task, then you take birth. Otherwise, you are a free soul. So by knowing this rarest knowledge, and through Arjuna, Shri Krishna is telling all of us. So it is your readiness. Are you ready to take this knowledge and become free? And then we should use them as a means of revealing the process of yoga sadhana. Whatever sadhana you are doing, if you know this rarest knowledge, use it as a means to progress on your journey and become the realized soul, the siddha, or whatever. Because only human beings are capable of doing this, not plants, not animals. So wake up, study, and use it in your sadhana. Okay, so this is all about Vibhuti Yoga and its purpose. Now we'll start with our shlokas. So I have taken up shloka number 2 and 3. The first one is about Shri Krishna is saying that Arjuna, I know that you are very sincere, you are very, very honest, and you are on the path of realization. And you are very, very keen. I know there is a burning desire in you to know me. And that's why I'm giving this knowledge to you and through Arjuna to the whole mankind. So in the second verse, it goes like this. Name vidussura ganaha prabhavam namaharshayah ahamadirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. So what is the meaning? Neither celestial gods, devanam, nor the great sages, maharshinam, know my origin. I am the source from which the gods and great seers come. So this is a very literal meaning of this shloka. What Shri Krishna is saying, I will chant the next shloka as well, so that because they go hand in hand. Yo mamajamanadim cha vitti lokamaheshwaram asammodhas samartyeshu sarvapapai pramuchyate. Aham, anadi, and aja. I am aja, that is I am unborn and eternal. And hence, even the gods, even the devatas, and great seers don't know my origin because I am the source of them. From me, they are born. Like, for example, a father and a son. Can a son know a father's birth? No, because he was not there. Father was there before the son. So whatever can son do, whatever efforts he can make, he is not going to understand and know the origin of his father because he wasn't existed that time. Similarly, Shri Krishna is saying, even these gods, they have got that power, being gods or great seers who are so much intelligent. They do a lot of sadhana. Even they don't know my origin. Why? Because I am eternal. I am unborn. I am Loka Maheshwaram. So the meaning of the second verse is, those who know me as unborn and beginningless, and as the supreme lord of the universe, Loka Maheshwaram, I am the ultimate, the supreme of not only earth, not only heaven, but the entire Vishwa, Brahmanda, the universe. The entire universe is just only 1% of me. So you can imagine the vastness and greatness of Supreme Lord. They among mortals are free from illusion. Asammudha. Mudha means ignorant. Those who feel that this body, this mind, this jagat is the ultimate thing. They are mudha. But then who are asammudha? They know that I am unborn, I am beginningless, and beyond mind, body, intellect, there is some higher reality. And I want to know it. Those mortals who know this reality become free from all the sins, maya, and illusion. Now, the subtle meaning of this shloka is like if you try to understand, experience that higher power through the means of your senses, through the means of your mind, your intellect, you will fail. You cannot understand, you cannot experience, you cannot realize supreme power through these, we can say, the part of Prakriti, because body, mind, senses, intellect are all part of Prakriti, as we have seen in Jnana Yoga, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is beyond all these things. So who? So here the seers and devatas, because all our sense organs have got these devatas. The devata of eyes is Surya. Because that devata is working behind your eyes, you can see. Just imagine if that power is no more functioning. It is just the jada prakriti, it is just the matter. Without energy, it has no function. In spite of having eyes, there is no vision, there is no drushti. So you need to have that energy. You need to always understand that there is what is behind that matter, what is behind those eyes, what is behind those ears, why I can speak. In spite of having tongue, mouth, teeth, gums, people cannot speak because that energy behind that sense organ is not functional, is not working. The great sages are meant to be intelligent ones. So even with the help, so they represent our intellect. Celestial gods represent the sense organs. Great sages, our intellect, which represent our buddhi, discriminative power. With the help of even buddhi, you cannot recognize God. But those who understand how, by your own sadhana, by your own efforts, that I am behind everything, I am the Lord of the universe, they among mortals become free. So this is these two shlokas. Now here we need to understand how Lord becomes, how this energy becomes the ultimate, or he, as he's saying, Lord Krishna is saying that I am the supreme Lord of the universe. So we need to understand the cause and effect relationship. To convert a cause into an effect, three properties must be there. Okay, now we have taken the example of a pot. For making a pot, what you will need? The raw material, and that is the clay. So clay in the hands of a potter is called as the material cause. And understand that energy, that power, that reality exists in all three of them. So clay is also Brahman or God. The instrument, now the clay is there, the material cause is there, but the instrumental cause is needed, is required to give a shape to that raw material, to the clay, that is the potter's wheel. That becomes the instrumental cause. That becomes the intelligence. The next one, that is the efficient cause, the intelligence that converts the raw material into a finished product. Since mere presence of clay and wheel cannot produce pots, clay is there, wheel is there, but the intelligence behind it is lacking. Your body is there, your intellect is there, or your mind is there, your sense organs are there, but that efficient cause is missing. An intelligent potter is required to achieve the manifestation of clay into a pot, which is called as the efficient cause. So those mortals who know the presence of God in each of them, clay is also God, wheel is also God, potter, uh, the maker of the pot is also God. And that's how he's saying, I am Loka Maheshwaram. Whatever you can think of, whatever you can perceive, whatever you can experience, everywhere is that supreme power. Okay, so this cause and effect relationship is very, very important to know in order to understand these two shlokas. The next shloka. Now here, in these 10.4 and 10.5, Shri Krishna has given his adhyatmika vibhutis. Buddhir-jnanam sammohaha kshama satyam damashamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayameva cha ahimsa samata tushtihi tapodanam yasho yashaha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prutagvidhaha. So here are 20 emotions, or even the manifestations of God at the very nature of a being. So what are they? From me alone arise the varieties in the qualities amongst humans, such as intellect, buddhi, jnanam, knowledge, sammoha, clarity of thought, kshama, forgiveness, truthfulness, satya, dama, control over the senses, shama, control over the mind. Now here certain qualities come in pairs, like sukha dukkha, bhava bhava, that is joy and sorrow, birth and death, that is creation and dissolution, bhaya, that is fear and courage, non-violence, ahimsa, equanimity, samata, contentment, tushti, tapaha, austerity, danam, charity, yasha, apayasha, fame and infame. Okay, so these are all, if you can know these qualities, understand, these are the manifestations of God. They are called as, or categorized as, adhyatmic vibhutis. Now we'll just understand these one by one. So what is buddhi? It is the ability to analyze, decide. Jnanam, once you know whatever you learn in schools, colleges, universities, it is the knowledge of the external world. Once it becomes Vijnana, the special knowledge. You develop the ability to discriminate between what is spiritual and what is material. Asammoha, absence of confusion. Kshama, in spite of our ability to forgive. Satya, whatever you speak, it is out of your own experience. There is no pretending, there is no lies in it. Whatever you experience, you speak. That becomes Satya. Dhamma, restraining senses from sense objects. Shama is the control of mind. Sukha dukkha, so emotions of joy, delight, sorrow, and affliction. Bhava, abhava, birth and death. Ahimsa, not to harm, not only by physical violence, but through your speech, words, through your actions, through your thoughts. Samata, equanimity in good and bad situations. If you can maintain that stability, that samata, that equanimity in good and bad situations, understand it is the God's manifestation. Tushti, feeling content in whatever comes by one's karma. See, in spite of having big house, good job, having cars, if you're not content, understand something is lacking in you. Understand there is yet God to manifest through you. So if you are always santushta, atma santushta, understand it is the God's vibhuti. Tapa, if you can take some vows, follow certain principles, follow certain vratas, for spiritual benefit. Why we have to fast, or why we need to do certain austerities, why we have to take bath and then only do puja or cooking, why all these traditions are there? Because they condition, they discipline your body, mind, thoughts, actions, everything, and they uplift you. There is progress on the spiritual path, and hence these austerities are important. Danam, giving in charity, but not to get fame and name, but with Shraddha, to the needy ones who is worthy for that charity. Yasha apayash, fame arising from possessing good. If you have good qualities, yasha will follow you. If you have bad qualities, apayasha, bad fame will follow. So these are the vibhutis mentioned in Shloka 4 and 5. So you can again, read them and try to remember these qualities and understand these are manifestation of God. Then, Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavastatha Madbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Ima Prajaha. Now what Sri Krishna is saying, the 7 great sages, Sapta Maharshis, the 4 great saints before them, and the 14 Manus are all born from my mind. From them, all the people in the world have descended. So what happened? That Paramatma, out of his will, out of his mind, he thought of becoming many. Ekoham bahusyam. I'm just alone. Let me become many. Out of that will, what that Paramatman, that higher reality has done. So even Mahavishnu, through different parts of Vishnu, different things are created. So from his navel of the Vishnu, the lotus flower gave birth to Lord Brahma. Sorry. Brahma created these four great saints. Hmm? Those four great saints or Kumaras are Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatanam, and Sanat Kumara. They four are brahmacharis, and their task was to give people the spiritual knowledge and help them to liberate. That was their task. For that purpose, God created these four saints. Then came seven great rishis, Sapta rishis, Marichi, Angiras, Atri, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, and Vasishtha. So if while doing any puja vidhi, if someone asks what is your gotra, then out of these seven you might tell that this is my gotra. So the task of these is seven great sages were procreation. They were sansaris. They married and they, uh, you know, did the task of procreation. And then there are 14 manus. And what was their task? Administration of humankind and protection of Vedic dharma. So these are the 14 names of those manus: Swayambhu, Swar, Sisha, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata, Chakshusha. Now the present age is under the ruling of Vaivatsvata Manu. Then Savarni, then Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, Indra Savarni. So these are the names of 14 Manus. So Lord Vishnu created all of them. And this is how all the population, all the human kind is growing. So Vaivatsvata Manu is the present ruler of the universe. Okay. Okay. The next shloka is Etanam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo veti tattvataha so vikampena yogena yujyate natra sanshayah. Now what Sri Krishna is saying. Those who know in truth my glories and divine powers become united with me through unwavering bhakti yoga. You can say even the other name of Vibhuti Yoga is avikampa, avikampena yoga. Of this there is no doubt. Natra sanshayah. He is saying that those who know my vibhutis, my glories, my divine powers, once you know that, what will happen? The sense of respect, the sense of love, the sense of devotion will arise within you, isn't it? So unless and until you don't know, how can you do bhakti? You have extreme love towards your mother, or mother have extreme love towards his child. So there is no need of jnana. They already know. She is my daughter, I am, and she knows that she is my mother. And there is a compassion, love, devotion, respect, all those qualities are there. Why? Because I can experience my mother, I can see my mother. Can you see God? No. So unless and until you know it through jnana, bhakti won't arise. And hence there is very close connection between jnana and bhakti. Your bhakti should be accompanied with jnana and jnana should be accompanied with bhakti, and they go hand in hand. When and you become aware of great power of God manifesting in the universe, you inclined towards the devotion, to devotion towards God. Now, for example, a very beautiful example, if your friend gifts you a stone. Now, if you are not aware that what stone it is, black stone, it looks like a black simple stone. You will say, okay, this is an ordinary stone. What I will do with this? You will just keep it in the corner and forget about it. But if you have known, oh, it's not a simple, ordinary black stone, but it is a shaligram. I hope you know what is shaligram, which represents Lord Vishnu. Then your outlook will change. Your mindset will change. You will have deep respect for that stone. It is no more stone, but it is God itself. You will put it in your temple, in the house. You will worship it. You will keep it clean. You will respect it. So this is how what Sri Krishna is saying. If you know truly my glories and divine powers, what will happen? Avikampa yoga means there is no doubt, there is no hesitation that there is no God. Oh, my belief was so wrong. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna himself is saying, I am everywhere. If you don't know, then learn about it. Try to understand. Become jnani. So this avikampena word is very, very important. There is no place for doubt. There is no place for shaking your shraddha. And once that happens, that drudha shraddha is established, there is no doubt that you will unite with me. So this is what proclaimed in Bhagavad Gita. So it is our job, our task to do this, understand this, develop bhakti in that power, because that bhakti will help you to unite, become one with God. Okay. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhiyo tam yena mamupayanti te. To those whose minds are always united with me. Now those who have done their job, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, everything, what's happening to them? Now those who are always remembering me, constantly remembering, meditating, contemplating, they are united me in loving devotion. I give the divine knowledge by which they can attain me. So you are doing your 100%, but still something is lacking. Unless and until that higher power don't give you that divine knowledge, Buddhi Yoga, the God's grace, till that point, you cannot become one with God. See, for example, you go to sleep. Now, during night, you are dreaming. You're seeing so many things, listening, seeing, experiencing. So when you are in a dream state, swapnavastha, what you feel? That is the reality. Correct? But unless and until a dreamer comes to a waking state, becomes waker, he won't understand, oh, it was just a dream. The point you come from dreaming state to the waking state, that dream is reality for you. But from switching from dreaming to waking state, again, you need to have that power, that divine power to shift from one state of consciousness to the other. Okay, similarly, from waking state, if you want to move forward into Turyavastha, becoming one with God, again you need God's energy, God's power, God's grace. So what Sri Krishna is saying, to whom I will give that Buddhi Yoga, that divine knowledge, not to everyone, whose minds are always united with me in loving devotion, Preeti Purvakam, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam. All the time with love, they are united with me. To those I will give my divine knowledge. So not with your corporeal intellect, senses, mind or words you can achieve God. You can become one with God. No. Only through divine grace you can shift from Jagrutavastha to Turyavastha. Very, very important shloka. Without Buddhi Yoga, nothing is possible. And the last shloka in today's session. Teshamevanukampartham ahamagyanajam tamaha नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. Now, out of compassion for them, I, who dwell within their hearts. Now, those who are doing their sadhana, they are united with me all the time. I give them Buddhi Yoga, that divine power, divine knowledge. Then what happens? Jnana Deepena Bhaswata. With the luminous lamp of knowledge, what will happen? Destroy the darkness born of ignorance. So by receiving God's grace, what will happen? You try to meditate, and then you frustrate at the end and say, no, my mind cannot focus, my mind cannot concentrate because there are so many thoughts coming up. Keep practicing. Keep united with God all the time. And you never know when, how, where it will happen. All the chitta vrittis, the mental modifications will cease. Duality will end. And only Shuddha Sattva remains. Your mind is fixed now onto one. That is Satchit Ananda, the Yoga Sthiti. Only with the help of God's grace. And when that will happen, what's the result? You have gone beyond Maya, illusion. If you have seen the symbol of Om, there are 3 semicircles representing 3 states of consciousness. And above that, there is a dot. But between those 3 semicircles and a dot, there is a, again, short crescent shape line. That is Maya. Only through Buddhi Yoga, only through Jnana Deepa, you will cross the boundary of Maya and become one with Turyavastha, or the God himself, that dot. You will establish full and final. You will never come back from that state. Satchidananda, that is the Yoga Sthiti. So when you are united with Satchit Ananda, yoga, that is called as Yoga Sthiti. Your mind is now fixed only on one. Non-duality, Advaita, not duality. This or that. No, there is only one. That is a Yoga Sthiti. But when you see so many manifestations, multiple, plurality, the world of plurality, sorry, to see God's manifestations everywhere, to see the world of multiplicity is Vibhuti Sthiti. But understand, behind all these multiple objects, infinite objects, there is only one reality. So from Vibhuti Sthiti to Yoga Sthiti, that should be the direction of your sadhana. Okay. So through all these shlokas, do you have any questions? I hope you all are with me. Any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So shall
It was
we start?
lovely listening to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And this forum is open for everyone. Even you want to like discuss, share anything, just feel free to do so.
Thank you.
The interaction should happen. Okay, so first what we'll do some chanting, and at the end we'll open for last 5 minutes for Q&A. All right. Okay, now you can unmute your calls, and after me repeat the shlokas. Name vidussuraganaha
Name
vidussuraganaha
prabhavam namaharshayah
Prabhavam namaharshayah
ahamadirhi devanam
Aham
devanam
maharshinam cha sarvashah
maharshinam cha sarvah
yo mam jamanadim cha
Yo
vetti lokamaheshwaram asammodhah samartyeshu sarva papai pramuchyate. Buddhir jnanam sammohah Shama satyam damah shamah sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayameva cha ahimsa samata tushtihi tapodanam yasho yashah
तपोदानयशः
भवन्ति भावा भूतानां
भवन्ति विभावा
मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः महर्षयः सप्त पूर्वे चत्वारो मनवस्तथा
चत्वारो मनवस्तथा
मद्भावा मानसा जाता
मद्भावा
येषां लोक इमाः प्रजाः एतां विभूतिं योगं च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
मम यो वेत्ति
सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मापुयान्ति ते तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Excellent. So, any questions? Anything you want to share related to what we have discussed now? So
I
what
just
I will
wanted
do,
to,
yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to know that if we want to listen to what has been done in the past, is it possible
Mhm.
to listen to the recordings?
Yes, yes. That's what I'm going to tell now. That I'm going to put the
Oh,
recording of this session, and if you can subscribe to Atman Yoga Consultancy YouTube channel, there are all the recordings available of the previous sessions.
great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I will share that link too on the group. So you can then go through all the recordings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also,
Thank you so
I will put audio recordings of these 6 shlokas. You can practice them at your convenient time, and you can also put your audio recordings on the group, so that if there are any corrections or whatever it is, I can comment on it. And now we will see, because due to Ganesha festival, today's session was a bit later time in the month, but otherwise we meet every second Saturday of each month. So now our next session will be on 9th of October, Saturday, at the same time.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank,
All,
thank you.
all of you take
Thank
care.
you. God
See you next
bless.
month.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.